All right, what's going on, y'all? Back with another 10-minute talk. I'm Coach Justin here with Coach Melissa. What's going on today, Melissa?
Just a whole lot of, I'm actually kind of stressed today because we are getting ready to travel. So this is appropriate, and have two different travels coming up back to back and trying to get all the work things done and all of the planning for food and packing and all of the things. And so just a little scattered today, but other than that, I'm good.
Well, as things naturally are whenever you're preparing to leave and trying to make sure all your loose ends are tied up before you go. So that'll be a good, nice vacation break for y'all. But today, me and Coach Melissa wanted to break down just a few points that could help you when you return from travel. So as we've coached people for several years now and seen a lot of clients come through, one of the biggest challenges that we see people struggle with is when there's a interruption in their pattern, mainly a vacation, right? That lasts, let's say, anywhere from 4 days to 2 weeks. Some people go on vacation for a week, 2 weeks, whatever. When you come back from vacation, back from that time away, can be difficult to try to get back on the horse, as they say, as quickly as you can. So we thought, okay, what were some things that we personally do or that we recommend as well to be able to get back into the normal swing of things, our typical routine, as quickly and as pain free as possible, right? Because it's really easy to just, I mean, it's not easy, but it's real simple to just start, running your ass off the day you get back from vacation. But there's a lot of pain that goes into settling that out at the end too. So what's something that you like to do, Melissa, to help you get back to normal?
Well, first of all, like I said, just get back right into my routine. So it's easy, when we've been off schedule, whatever throws us kind of off, it's easy to kind of push that out. Say, oh, I'm tired today, I'm going to take another rest day, whatever. But for me, it's much easier for me to get back into the groove if I just, as soon as we get back, get, my routine back in sync as much as possible.
Gotcha. So basically, just establishing a plan for the day after you've returned to be able to get back and like, this is the time I'm going to the gym. This is the time that I'm cooking my food and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
Gotcha. So yeah, just I mean, it sounds simple, but it literally can be as simple as just getting some semblance of what your plan or what your day looked like before you left back into the swing. And it's not going to be perfect, but it's it's not nothing, right? Uh, One of the things that I thought of was allowing yourself a little bit of a ramp up period for your training. Because what I find is this happens with sickness as well. So vacation, sickness, anything that's like kept you off from your typical training routine. People think that they can actually go back to their threshold weights, right? Their heaviest thing that they were doing on shoulder press or their squat or whatever. And they get disappointed when everything like their what was their 80% feels like 110%, right? It feels super heavy. And it's usually just because you're a little just deconditioned, just a small amount from not being in the same routine. And so you need to give yourself at least a week, if not closer to 2 weeks, to allow that ramp up period to what those threshold tolerances were, whether it was conditioning, weights, whatever it is, even flexibility, like range of motion to a degree. You need to give it time to get settled back in, and you're not going to make any more or less progress in 2 weeks after your vacation than taking that week, a break. Even if you trained on vacation, right, you're still going to need a little bit of an adjustment period because you likely didn't have the same equipment or what have you. So that's what I think about.
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely true. Happens to me. I mean, we want to get back into our groove, want to get back, where we were before we left, because, feeling kind of lethargic, at least I am a lot of times when I get back, just from traveling in general, just makes me tired. Right. So, wanting to get back in it, and then you just feel like you can't go. So it's nice to, it's necessary to give yourself that grace, to be able to ramp back up. Something else for me is that I know that regardless of whether I stay on plan when I'm traveling or not. I could work out every day. I could eat on plan every day. My weight is still going to be up when I get back, just from the inflammation from travel, my schedule being different. It really affects me physically. So I know that ahead of time, and I'm sure that other people have that issue too. So I know that when I step on the scale when I get back, not to let that derail me. It's just a number, and go ahead and get back into my routine as soon as possible, and not do the whole I feel too fat to go to the gym today, because I have done that. I have done that, and it doesn't help things. And so, increasing water for the next couple days and increasing steps those next couple days also helps to get rid of some of that extra inflammation, some of that extra water that we're holding on to just kind of help reestablish our energy and kind of balance things back out. So that's helpful for me as well.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I actually tell my clients, I don't want you to step on the scale for at least 3 days. That's typically what I tell them. Even if it's coming off of a weekend that was abnormal for them, right? Like maybe they had some food that they didn't plan on, or it was just maybe they did plan on it, but it was just a little bit more indulgent. But like Melissa said, no matter how good, quote unquote, you were on vacation, you're going to hold on to water just from traveling, right? Especially if you fly. And so your weight is not going to be even close to accurate or close to consistent with the average that you've been, and until you're back into a normal way of moving and eating. And so that's why I say, hey, give yourself 3 days, right? Most of my clients check in Wednesday mornings. So like for that reason, exactly, right? So that they have several days to give themselves back, get their body back into a normal eating pattern, drinking pattern, things like that. And just like you said, increasing the steps, doubling up on the water, and maybe adding a little bit more electrolyte back in if you didn't do something like that during your time away can help to flush the system just a little bit in terms of absorbing some of the water you're carrying, making sure that you're going to the bathroom regularly. And then another thing that I like to do is help have people focus on their fiber intake. And people struggle with that anyway. I mean, just on a normal basis, right? But can we increase the amount of fruits and vegetables we're having for this next, week or 2 week period? Not that you shouldn't, increase them in general, but just specifically focus on that. And then maybe seeds as well. Seeds have some fiber in them too. So, I mean, things that are going to increase your fiber intake, even if you have to supplement it to a degree, will help, like Melissa said, clear things out from a digestive standpoint, right? So you should be going to the bathroom, and will help balance that energy level out. So you do feel like going back to the gym, right? And you do, you don't feel too fat to go work out, right? So all of that being said, I think those are all, helpful tactics. Anything else from that you like to do, Melissa?
Something else I also recommend is just increasing omega-3s, which the seeds and stuff does that as well. But, the wild caught fatty fish like salmon, if you take fish oil, omega-3s, that's also beneficial. I will double up my dose usually when I come back from travel because of the inflammation, and that helps bring some of that down. So that's something else that I recommend too.
Yeah, great. That's a great one too. Flaxseed oil, like in a bottle, you can add it to you can add it to a smoothie, you can add it to your oatmeal, like whatever. It doesn't have a taste to it. So that's another good way to get omega-3s into. But yeah, couldn't agree more. So, I mean, the basic message that we want everybody to take away here is there's got to be a gap period once you come back from vacation, as gung-ho as you were going to be in your mind, right? Like you're traveling back and be like, man, I can't wait to get back in the gym. Like, I had a whole lot of fun, eating and drinking and doing whatever, but the desire to get back to a normal routine is pretty strong. Temper that desire a little bit. Like, that's cool, have some fire in you, but temper that desire a little bit with understanding, like, hey, my body has been kind of out of order, right? Out of use, like normal use, for a week now, or whatever the time period's been. So we need to allow some gaps, some leeway in training, right? Like Melissa said, increase that water, increase those steps, get in a little bit more fiber, a little bit more omega-3s. Try to just do some very basic things, and you don't have to do it for 30 days after you went on a week vacation. Just try it for a week and see where you're at, and then make your adjustments given the next week. So I think that pretty much wraps it up for me, Melissa. Anything else?
I can't think of anything right now anyway.
Cool. All right. Well, appreciate y'all for tuning in, watching. Again, if you want more information like this, you can check out the Hidden Summit Facebook group. Will be linked in the description below, and we'll see y'all next time.